Yo, it seems that we are right on time. And oh boy, the sun is shining, but not my webcam. Give me a second here. Let me start it up. I'm such a professional streamer. Okay. 1 minute. Click, click. It's coming, I swear. I think I closed the webcam software earlier, but it is starting. So 1 second. Yeah, I'm such a professional content creator. I wasn't meant to be a YouTube dude, but here we are. Oh, it should work now though. Okay. And if I do this. Okay. Okay. You can see it's sunny here, right? Yeah. Okay, that's better. Put my light on. Poof. Okay. Very nice. What's up, everyone? Right in time for some action. Stopping the music here. Okay. Cool. What's up, everyone? Good to have you here. Welcome to another live stream. In today's live stream, we are going to cover Bitcoin and have a look at some alts. I'll be online for, as always, about an hour, right? And we're going to be observing the price action together. So currently testing pretty much the daily now for the second time. Market structure didn't change. 94.3K is not taken. We did get a reaction from the 886, a little bit of a move to the upside, but yeah, nothing spectacular. It's nice that we have a little bit of action now as the stream starts, as I wouldn't want to be live during this moment here. But yeah, let's see, no? Let's see. How you doing, everyone? Good to have you here. Mr. Sok Christian, Agent J. I answered this question here. Sam, welcome. I'm about to... I know, right? I know. I gotta say, whenever I hear the music, I get hyped myself. You know, I play it out loud, and generally when the live stream countdown starts, I am just walking around the house, but I can still hear it as well. Andre, welcome. Gilon, I used to be a medical student. I was a professional gamer for 11 years. I was a host on television, ESPN, global keynote speaker, medical student, and now we're here. You know, so trader, of course, for some years, and then eventually created content, and because questions, and it grew a little bit bigger and quicker than I expected. So, you know. Yeah, and here we are. Jeffrey, welcome. Cheese, more, WXYXZ. Kevin, what's up? Glue Elgato, yes, I got the Elgato Pro webcam here. Nutrition Trader, what's up? Sunny because of Bitcoin. Exactly. Catherine, what's up? XRP is strong. We'll see. Let's see how the alts hold up with Bitcoin here. What's up, Mia Mania? Draw a line from all-time high, now in wave E in diagonal pattern of wave 4. Never seen this in the internet currently. Probably for good reason. A, B, C, D. Wait. You can't... It's too early. Wait. I posted the diagonal yesterday. So, but then this is your 1. This is your 2, right? So you still need a 3, a 4, and a 5. Yeah. I spoke about this yesterday. An ending diagonal. I mean, can also be leading, but that would be very bearish. I just mentioned that it's too early to detail it. No, wave A on 512. wave A, this is A, but you can't have a diagonal that is A, B, C, that's a triangle. But yeah, not personally really looking at that, to be honest. So you can't have a triangle like A, oh, wait, no, yeah, that's a triangle. A, B, C, but your C goes below your A, which is not allowed. So that invalidates the triangle. Probably the reason you don't see it online. But it's a good idea. It's a good idea, right? But it's invalidated because C moved below your wave A. Ice Cubes, Lady, good morning. Rahul, Hush. What's up, guys? Welcome. No Choke, Mr. Sok. Yeah, I guess the alts. Some people love it, some people hate it, but it's a mix of you doing Bitcoin and the alts, of course. Keeping myself busy with the analysis. Some streams, of course, are very much focused on answering questions. But yeah, Mudra Guru, welcome. And do you think Wyckoff distribution would align with Elliott waves? Well, in a way, Wyckoff is also waves related. I mean, in the end, you can just count Wyckoff in Elliott wave terminology. So the answer would be yes. Yes. Gillian, I just started with Elliott waves in the videos. It's really difficult. And not that I'm very fast in learning. How did the process go for you? Took me about 2 years, 1.5 to 2 years. 2 years, I was really confident. Did we actually take the low now? So 1.5 years, I really like started to like, I felt like I got there right after about 1.5 years of daily studying. But after 2 years, that is, I suppose, where that's where I was really confident in my skills. So yeah. So yeah, about 2 years. So now we took the local low here, right? Now, probably most of you have seen the morning update video. So the 886 probabilities have now also played out. Is the volume at the moment is increasing with price moving to the downside. So yeah, if we look for an impulse, then we have a 1, 2, and we would be looking for a 3 and then a 4 and a 5. The main question then is, of course, how far does 3 go? But yeah. Alts are prepared to big crash, man. Gabriel, what's up? Gabriel is perma bear. Gabriel, how long are you here now, Gabriel? I think for maybe like a year or something, right? On the channel, like probably on the channel for about a year, and always looking down. You need those people, yeah. So yeah, minus 40-50%, of course, possible, especially with the alts. They move very quick, but we'll have a look at the alts, of course, and then we'll take it from there. No? Okay, now let's see how deep did we drop. Do this and do that. So the 1.618 basically invalidates flats. That's why I put it on the chart here. At least it really lowers the probabilities of a flat. So we'll start the analysis in a second. You know, like compared to the morning update, nothing changed. The probabilities now played out because we took the low. So and then as price is now as it took the low, it's a waiting game again. You know, so if you're looking for an impulse, WXY finished and then 812, and you would currently be looking for wave 3 in a bearish impulse scenario. I put the 1.618 on my chart just to observe the possibility of a flat. If you hit 92, the 1.618, then a flat is very low probabilities, which basically means that the move to the downside is preferably counted as not as a B in a flat, of course, but then a wave C or a wave 3, right? I thought I read in practice book a triangle with a horizontal bottom line ACE and diminishing upper line BD. That is called a barrier triangle. But C is not allowed to take A. E is not allowed to take C. B can take out the origin of A, but D is not allowed to take the high of B. No. When a Marco Borsato intro song. Yeah, there's many great options out there. For the Dutchies, a very Dutch friend of mine was playing this song one day, like for fun, but she actually knew the text quite well, which is called Brommers Kieken. I recommend you guys to check out that song on Spotify. If you're Dutch, you'll understand the text because it's, of course, a Dutch text, but Brommers Kieken. Yeah? Where did you pull the 1.618? I pulled this one from this low here to this high because I'm not looking for a flat here in AB. Reason is that either a 5-3-5 ABC was for me on the cards. Alternatively, if you count this as a three-wave structure up, you actually want to end it here. However, then the next move down is a flat. So wave B in a flat is most commonly a zigzag family structure. Might be a little bit detailed here, but if you would look for a flat in an A, B, and a C, right? Most commonly, your B is a zigzag family structure, right? So for coffee, thanks Nutrition Trader. I'll make sure to enjoy it. So in other words, you then want to see a wave A, B, C. However, we now took the low. So now I have to think about a double zigzag, W, X, but then you need a Y. So in other words, you still need this, right? And you need to see that before touching this 1.618 at 90.7, but this has to be a three-wave structure. And this being a three-waver, I don't know, like based on the local count, I would preferably end it here. But if it ends here, then this wick that goes higher cannot give you a bigger flat. So can check the chart in gold. New idea. Oh no. Wait. Oh boy. What would be the... Okay, 1 second, everyone. I'm opening this here. Now, the question then is, what is this part of? Crazy triangle. B, by the way, wave B in a running triangle should generally not move beyond the 1.618 of A. I of course haven't checked this, but the 1.618 of A probably, so this is then your A. It did move beyond the 1.618. Yeah, you need a double zigzag in 3, but at the moment we don't. So in that case, you would still need to see this. Right. Love to see the declining volume on the move down. Yeah, of course, if you're looking at the moment, price moving down, volume declining, which is what you like to see in an impulse when you're ending a structure, right? So it's your 4-5s, volume decreases, and eventually after your wave 5, you then get the bigger bounce. Yeah. And Arbuzny, congrats on your short, but it is not thanks to me; it's thanks to yourself, of course. I won't lie, this current bearish move down is making me nauseous. Yeah, it's been going on for a little while now, of course. It's quite a steep move, but it also gives opportunities. Huh? Also gives opportunities. So, okay. Let's start the, I suppose, analysis. It will be short on Bitcoin because of the morning update. So, yeah, there's not a lot to say. There is one thing I do like to say, actually, which I explained to Silver this morning, but not in the video, which actually has to do with the daily time frame. Well, I'll just show it on the chart. I don't have to show it on Discord, of course. So let's put a little alarm on the .618 so we know. We can remove this. My browser is, again, it's a little laggy, maybe due to me running multiple stuff at the same time. Generally not a... I actually have to close maybe a couple of browser stuff, you know. Okay. And let me refresh my page as well. Is it just me, or did we touch the 886 from the 30th December low to 102K top? Yeah, but that one is not important. The only 886s that are important are on the right side of the all-time high. It is the 886 that you take from the all-time high to the low. It is the 886 that you take from this high here to the low. And it was the 886 that I had in my video this morning. Those are the only three relevant 886s you can look at. One 886 now, of course, played out because price here took the low now. As price potentially then continues to the downside, you can pull or continuously pull 886s from low to local high, etc. Right? Alimo, what's up? Welcome, MP. Good to have you guys here. Okay. So this morning we shortly spoke about the daily time frame, and that is where we're going to start, because I do like to say something. Up front, it's definitely not trying to make people anyone anxious about moves to the downside, but I do think it is important to explain. And I also have a lower time frame example. So just so you know. Okay, we start. Ta-da. And then there was light. So we are currently in minute 25. Where's my little notebook? Yo, I need space. Space. New page. BTC starts minute 25. This is important for the timestamps afterwards, so that I can make sure to manage everything correctly. Okay, so on the daily time frame, right, we have the bullish and the bearish scenario. Now, one thing I decided not to explain in the morning update, but I do want to explain it during the live stream, is higher degree wave force retracing to the price section of lower degree wave force. and the relevance. So in this impulse to the upside here, this is your bullish scenario where you're going to be looking for 1, 2, and then you have your 3, your wave 4, and your wave 5, right? Common target for your wave 4 is the blue box here on the chart, right? So it's 96.7K to 83.6K. Nice. Invalidation, 77.7K. Now what is interesting here is that your blue wave 4 is then going to move below the price action of your lower degree white wave 4. Yeah. So this range is your lower degree white wave 4. Now that would be a general target area for your higher degree wave 4, which is the blue wave 4. But of course, if you take out the lows again and you would move to like 90K, 89K, you're going to move below it. Now, moving below it is not necessarily a problem. However, following just general Elliott wave international guidelines, a wave 4 of a higher degree tends to retrace to a wave 4 of a lower degree, most often around the termination point of a previous wave 4. Okay, now a wick below a lower degree wave 4 happens, right? But one has to be aware that the local price action, not just in the upcoming days, but then also in probably like January, Feb, like Q1 this year, it's actually really important. I'm not sure if people really get the relevance because most people are, of course, looking for continuation to the upside and the wave 5. But there's also a chance that you got a top here, of course, right? Like preparation, you know. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. This 4, if moving a little bit further to the downside, moving below this low here, which is 90.7K, is going to move below the lower degree wave 4. Now, there's no rule or guideline that says impulse is over, right? And again, you can wick below this, you can be here for a little bit and then continue up because the target area for your wave 4 is big, right? But it is information, as per Elliott Wave International, that a wave 4 commonly retraces to a wave 4 of a lower degree. In this case, we would move below that area. Now, in my opinion, this range needs to hold. If you're going to lose this, that's a problem. So in the morning, I spoke about 85. Wouldn't like to see that loss. That would be like an absolute maximum, like area basically for me. So because then we'd be looking for a deeper retracement, basically. And there's not too much going on here as well. There's not a lot of market structure or, you know, so something to keep in mind. This is your bearish scenario. As it stands, it remains a lower probability scenario because your blue wave 4 is shorter than your blue wave 2 in time, significantly shorter in time, which quite simply is a lot less common, right? So, and therefore, 1 second here. Of course, there's a reason I set my alarm. Oh, come on, man. Yes. I mean, that's pretty good. Okay. So this is your bearish scenario. So look, I'm doing multiple things at the same time because, you know, I'm a trader, but I'm also an analyst. So, you know, give me a break here. So this is your bearish scenario, lower probabilities compared to your bullish scenario, quite simply because your 4 is short in time. Now, as per the polylines, which of course we've been showing for weeks now, in both cases, bullish and bearish, we are looking for a move to the downside. It's just the question is, what structure do you get and how deep does it go, right? Now, the main difference between the two is that In the blue line, which is your bullish scenario, after dropping, the 382 is always interesting. After dropping to the downside, you want to see bullish market structure on the lower time frames, right? So the 15, 1 hour time frame, you want to see multi-1-2s. You want to see price creating bullish structures to the upside. Of course, if you take this low, that would be nice. But you want to see low time frame bullish structures. While, of course, in the bearish scenario, right, you're looking quite simply for corrective structures, 3-wave structures, and then you expect continuation down. Probabilities still higher for the bulls, right? Higher for the bulls, not for the bears. But I do think it is important to be aware, which we are. And then on the 4-hour time frame, this is the zigzag scenario, ABC. I had a comment this morning, someone asking like something about, I wasn't and still not a fan of like a zigzag because everyone is looking at it. And I don't really like to, you know, if everyone is looking at one thing, I'm always like, you know, what's the chance? Like, will it really happen? But of course, what someone likes or someone's opinion is never related to probabilities, which is of course the reason why I always have the probability section at the end of my videos and on the 15-minute time frame. Bearish unless price took, because now we took the low, the 94.5k high, which we didn't do because we took the low, which was the probabilities. But here you do have the zigzag, and in this particular zigzag, what you're then looking for is a 5-wave final structure, 1, 2, 3, 4, a 5-wave move to then finish your wave C. Now to the downside, we do have some support around 89.90, around over here 87 as well. And this red line is the low of your wave A, right? So in other words, that's your minimum. But of course, generally you would expect price to also take the low here in the middle. So those are your two main support areas just below where price is. Very simplistic. Yeah. Many people look at this. So you probably saw this one left, right, and center. I don't really have to talk too much about that one in a lot of detail. Now this is the wave C in detail. Not a lot of detail, and then here it is in detail. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, ending expanding diagonal in 5, and then a WXY in 4, and then you would look for another impulse down in a 5. Quite simply, this would be your impulse. If you end your blue wave 3 here, then your blue wave 4 has to be finished already. So if price would move to the upside, then it's not going to be counted as a blue 4 anymore. And that is because of time, because your blue 4 would be too long compared to your wave 2. And it really reduces probabilities. So at the moment, this is what's on my chart for the wave C to the downside, which means that preferably your 2 is in. Your wave 3 is really what matters. Just like over here, you have a double 1, 2, you get a wave 3. You're then looking for at least a double 4, 5, right? Now it doesn't matter if you can't like catch the exact high or catch the exact low, trying to exit a short at the exact perfect moment. But if you move towards the downside here, you're at least looking for 2 ranges and 2 drops. So in my opinion, the first potential area to sell really from an impulsive perspective was potentially over here. And then you have yourself a great trade, right? You don't need to catch the highs and the lows per se. But that was a start, I suppose. And yeah, now we're here. So your bearish local scenario is an impulse to the downside where you look for wave 3, 4, 5, and wave 4 should be a bit of a sideways ranging structure, quite similar in length preferably compared to your wave 2, if not longer. And yeah, that is then what you have to wait for, no? Then we'll see how far wave 3 goes, because you don't know how far wave 3 goes unless eventually you start getting your 4s. So that is your simplistic wave C. Bit more complex is what you see here on my chart, which is a WXY, double zigzag. In this case, you get a bounce, but you drop again. So you get a corrective structure to the upside and then another drop. It's too early to call because the ABC is basically a front runner of what you see on my chart, because you could, with the ABC, you count this as an ABC and then you go. In the WXY, you get another drop. So you got to wait anyway for the impulse to the downside to finish. So let's first focus on that now. And then on the 15-minute, oh wait, this was the bullish scenario. Now this is invalidated because we took the low, but that was also according to the probabilities. So yeah, on Bitcoin, on the 15-minute, your bullish scenario, oh no, wait, there is a bullish scenario. Of course there's a bullish scenario. I have it on my chart again. Your bullish scenario now becomes a flat, and your bearish scenario is continuation to the downside in an impulse. So now you do remove this. We have to remove this. B goes down. Remove this, remove this, remove this. And then your bullish scenario has to be a flat structure. Now, the probabilities for this only increase if you now take out this high. And if you take out this high, that is the moment you would generally at least be looking for price to take out this high, right? That would be your minimum target, basically. But you would be looking for an impulse in a wave C. So then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We do have some resistance to the upside at 98.2 here. But for the probabilities for this to increase, you need to take out this high. Because that invalidates the impulse to the downside, right? So one has to be very patient with the bullish scenario. And by all means, a flat is still bearish, by the way, because after a flat wave C, with the low being a wave B, you still look for price to move down later. So, yeah. For your information. Wave B most commonly is a three-wave corrective structure, and most commonly a zigzag family structure, which is an ABC, WXY, or WXY-XZ, but the WXY-XZ is very rare, so not preferred. At the moment, we cannot actually count this move to the downside as a three-wave structure. At the moment, it is a 5. We can't count like A, B, C. So a B becomes a bit tricky because you would need to think about a double zigzag, a WXY now. Doesn't look as good, but by all means, this high at 93.8 is very important for the bulls. So basically, bearish till price takes out that high. And, that's pretty much it, I suppose. So that is Bitcoin for you. And that will then give us a bit of time to have a look at some of the alts as well. Make sure you trade safe, by the way, of course, as always, with increased volatility and impulses and all that sort of stuff. We don't actually have news today, but we do have news tomorrow, Friday, January 10. Now, when I saw the news on Friday this morning, I was like, well, what's the chance of finishing an impulse to the downside the moment the news hits? So how about like you actually make a low when the news hits at 2:34 p.m. So afternoon, Central European time zone, afternoon tomorrow on Friday, create a new or a low, and then during the weekend, you start ranging, preparing for a bit of a bigger bounce again. After you finish an impulse, you're looking for a bounce, right? So that's I suppose quite general. But if you look for 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 after wave 5, you're going to be looking for a bounce, right? And your minimum target always is the 382, right? It's very rare for structures to not at least go to the 382. So depending on how deep 5 goes, the 382, of course, is positioned wherever. We'll figure that one out, right? First, you need to have a 5-wave structure, which at the moment we don't have yet. So, yeah. But how nice would it be to have a low in during the news tomorrow and then start creating a bounce? Yeah, I don't know, just something that I had in mind. Okay, that was Bitcoin. Let me actually put an alarm now on that one high that we spoke about. I'm going to put, I have a few alarms. You can see I have an alarm down here. So just above my box, but this one, yeah, I need to change this one here. So this one now moves down to here. And then we have 90. That's fine. Then we have my next box. And that's pretty much it. So we don't need more. Those are the only relevant levels for me at the moment. Okay. Let's get started, shall we? Yeah, I really gotta start live streaming. You know, anyone here that has experience with Ecamm Live on the MacBook? Because I'm thinking about using Ecamm Live on the Mac instead of OBS, and I'm just wondering about your experience. So if you do have experience, write it in the chat. Elliott wave analysis on BTC Elliott wave analysis at when did we start? 25 minutes. Now chatting and a Q&A. Wait, that's now alts and chatting. Replace the pinned message. There we go. Okay. Put that there. Okay, very nice. Let's start. Now, earlier I saw someone talking about XRP, but XRP is actually quite easy because, and I you know, most people know, but I covered the high time frames. But with regards to XRP, you're looking for all-time highs sooner or later, really. XRP 44. So at the moment, this is what I'm looking at here with regards to XRP. So we hit the 886, which is taken from all-time high to the low, which automatically increases probabilities to take out that all-time high at some point. Now, it's very normal to have a range / a retracement at the 886, right? It's incredibly common. It is most common after an 886 touch to get a bit of a retracement. It is uncommon to see straight continuation, right? Or move all the way back down. But at least a range or rejection at an 886 is actually very common. Now in this case, then we have our 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. You look for 4, 5, 4, 5. That is your bullish scenario. Your alternative is counting a single 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 5. And after 5, you then look for a bigger retracement. So at the moment on XRP here, you know, nothing actually really changed. You'd be looking for a wave 4. Now, the wave 4 target is taken from the low of 2 to the high of 3. The bigger 3 is, the bigger, generally, lower I should say, your 4 is, right? Because the 4 targets remain the same. So 290. So the 236, which actually is touched, is your first target for a wave of 4, right? So that is at least respected. If I'm not mistaken, actually, yes. And then you have the 382.05.618. That would be a very big drop, no? 618. And that's an invalidation anyway. But the 0.236 to the 05, that is your target area. Based on the local structures, of course, you'll be able to figure out the exact count. But at the moment, this, looking for 3, then you have your 4, 5, And then the more bullish scenario is what I have on my chart, because then you look for another 4, 5. I gotta say, I prefer to be conservative over being too bullish in general. I can always, this is my opinion, I can always re-enter, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would be my, I suppose, conservative scenario. And then, okay, interesting, you know, I'm done. And then if we get a corrective move to the downside, that is when I'd be interesting to, okay, cool, I'm in again, you know, and then I look for price to move back up. But I trust myself, and you should trust yourself, to find new entries. You know, being good in finding entries is really, really helpful. Yeah, that is XRP. Then we have ADA, should be at the top here. So with Cardano, we actually hit resistance, which is the point of control and some levels here that I'll remove for the sake of having a clean chart. Let's remove all of this. Yeah, just remove this and this. Just clean this up. Boom, boom. Okay, so Cardano hit resistance, and you can already see the box on my chart there, which is of course the box for a wave 4. So basically with Cardano here, your local, it's generally most interesting at the moment to look locally. So here as well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And then if you pass resistance here from a ranging perspective, one could potentially eye the value area high, but let's first focus on actually taking out this high. That does mean you move above the point of control, which of course is positive. But as long as your impulse is not invalidated with your wave 4, there's no biggie, right? So in this case, the 382 is the level that provided support here. Yeah, you're just ranging. You're just ranging. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Currently working on a wave 4 in that case. So let's see. I saw Hbar in chat. I also see the other one. What was it? GRT. Hbar. What do I have going on here? Apparently not a lot. Just checking. Just checking. Did we take this low? Of course, I can also just check if the numbers. 0.067, 6710, 6700. Okay, so it's actually lower. Okay, that's unfortunate. So you can't have a WXY double zigzag to the upside, basically. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so again, I prefer being conservative here, but at first I was checking, can I count this as a 1, 2? Would be a very long wave 2. But then as a flat A, B, C, due to the possibility of counting 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I was like, you know, that works for me, counting this last move to the downside as a 5 waver, but then I need a flat. And the flat needs an A and a B, not just a C. So alternatively, of course, you have 1, 2, 1, 2, which works. We didn't take out this low, and then this becomes a flat ABC. Very long C, though. Yeah, very, very, very long C. I'm not sure what to think about this. Of course, you see this move to the upside, right? It doesn't come out of nowhere. Highest amount of volume is in this move to the upside. So preferably you are counting that move up as a wave 3 in an impulsive structure, right? Because that's what you do. You have your wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Generally, the highest volume is in a wave 3, with your alternative being an ABC with the highest volume in C, which is bearish. Now, that basically means that whatever is going on here, which is absolutely unimportant, This in an impulse is counted your 3, which means this low is counted as your latest 2, which means you take a fib again from the low to the high. And that is your target area for your remove wave 4. Did we hit the 0.236? No, not yet. We didn't yet hit the target area, but 236 to the 05, that is your target area for a wave 4. And then you still expect to move to the upside in a wave 5, right? So your invalidation is the 618, which is basically on par with this. Not a big fan of how high this is, because if you are okay, so preferably you actually don't even come down to 0.18. Let me explain why. If you're looking for a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, first of all, in an impulse, a wave 1 and a wave 4 are never allowed to overlap. That's a rule. Second, which is a strong guideline, preferably wave 2 and 4 do not overlap as well. It's a guideline, it's not a rule. So, you know. But yeah, in this case, be looking still for 4 and 5, no? Hbar. Oh, when did we start with this? I guess around 50 minutes or something. How's Biddy doing? A bit of a bump up, I see. Oh, I'm on the 3-minute time frame. Jeez. A, B. Okay, you want to know the, yeah, A, B, C, D, E, and then a wave C to the downside in a flat. It just comes to mind, actually, now that I look at it. If you do take out, I know how to count it now. Sometimes it just hits you. It just hits you. So let me explain here before we continue with the next one. So for the bulls, you would count this as an A, B, C, D, E, and then a C. Because you need a zigzag structure in a B if you're looking for a wave B. Now then again, this high needs to be taken. That is why we have an alarm there, right? As you can see. Put it a little bit below. You can still have multiple 1-2s as well, right? But that would be more bearish. So you create another 1, another 2. You don't change the market structure. The more 1-2s, the lower you go. So you need to take out this high here, 93.8, in order to look for a bigger bump. Okay, a diagonal. Yeah, so this is an expanding diagonal already, and then this has to be another one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, in that case, you would also, of course, look for lower prices. But okay, we were GRT. Do I have a GRT? ABC, de EFG, HIEK, LMNO, P, QR, AFG, EF. I do not. I have done ICP, I believe, yesterday or the day before. I remember ICP was done very, very recently. Also makes me think that I forgot to put ICP in the title of the video. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did ICP the other day. So in one of the recent videos, probably need to put the timestamps in there. Okay, but anyway, GRT first. Let's focus on what we have in front of us. So a couple of lines on my chart, but I bet these are incredibly old and not related to any of the local price action. Oh, wait. Now that I say this, could this be a point of control maybe? And value area lows? I don't know. Whatever. It's not irrelevant. Now this looks very three-wavy. There's overlap here, which also counts this three-wavy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. ABC, correction, ABC. Now that can lead to your bearish scenario, and your bullish scenario then turns into a diagonal. We do have quite a wick on this candle. The only way I can count this one bullish would be 1, 2, 3. This is as a 4 and then a wave 5. I say this just sometimes whenever it happens, but I'm not a paid analyst, so I don't. I appreciate the support, but I don't analyze a chart just because people donate. So yeah, just so you know, at least it's not $100. If people would really go into, oh, can you do a specific chart and this and that time frame, then of course my time is a lot more valuable. But I just pick randomly from chat. I don't do any, because then viewers are going to get into the habit of paying every time they want to see a chart. But I don't want to be that guy. It's not in my nature. Now I think also here it is actually more interesting to look locally. We have overlap here. So of course your bearish scenario is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which then leads to a diagonal. I would imagine this is shorter. Whoa, it's longer. Looks shorter, but it is longer. From the low to the high to the low. Oh wait, yeah, that's exactly what you of course want to see, because your wave 2 in a contracting diagonal should be bigger than your 4, and then we have our wave 3. Now your 5 is shorter than your 3. So in other words, your bearish scenario is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not a great looking coin because it has a bearish scenario. And then your bearish scenario here is quite simply ABC. So for GRT to be interesting, it will take a while, but hit 0.4174, and yeah, looking for price to take the high. Of course, usually you get a bit of a reaction, and that provides the entry. No financial advice, obviously, we're on YouTube, but then for continuation up to take out the high. But it's the problem with GRT here is that the move up looks a bit three-wave, I guess we can pretty much agree. And the move down can be counted as a 5-wave diagonal structure here. So without going into much detail, the problem is you can, right? That's the whole thing. Some charts, like a Link, for example, and an SUI, for example, those back in the day had very clear double zigzag structures to the downside, right? So you had a 3-wave, bit of a range, and another 3-wave, right? So, but here you don't see that same clear structure to the downside. So in other words, you just got to be aware. Now, another thing we can actually check is just local price action here. Most bearish obviously would be a double 1, 2. I'll check that in a second. Let's first look here. Yeah, so yeah, in other words, there is the possibility for a diagonal, which makes it not as nice. Now, locally here, is this corrective or is this impulsive? There is 3 impulsive structures. You have an impulse, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a diagonal, or a multi 1, 2. Now, in this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is invalidated because you have overlap between 1 and 4, which is not allowed. So you got to think about a multi 1, 2 or diagonal. Multi 1, 2 is 1, 2, 1, 2, move down. If you touch this 886 at 0.2839, probabilities are higher, and you got to hit it before taking out this low. The probabilities are higher. This is corrective, not impulsive. And when we think about a diagonal, this is already an expanding diagonal, so that's not great. So in other words, the only bearish scenario left here is a multi 1-2, right? Being a 1-2, 1-2, and then you, well, who knows, another 1-2, who cares? But you're looking for a 3 to the downside. If you hit that 0.28 level, that's the moment where the probabilities change, and you want to hit it before taking out the low. Now, a deep corrective structure, if you do take out the low, is a WX and a Y, right? WX and then another 3-wave Y. And after this, you want to take this high here. So in other words, if you get 2 more lows, right, then this high becomes your probability changer. The moment you take that, you look for that. Very nice. That was GRT. Man, I gotta write down the timestamps before I start, eh? Okay. Yeah, so because we of course did this one really recently, let's just up. So over here, we hit the 0.7, so a double zigzag has low probabilities, right? And this move to the downside counts best as a 3-wave structure, not a 5. So you have a move, right? A 3-waver. This move up is too high to be counted as a wave 4. And your bearish scenario would be that this is a 4, which then has to match this being a 2. But that basically means your 2 is a lot longer than your 4. It's not really ideal. So therefore probabilities are higher. This is a 3-wave structure, but you hit the 0.7, which therefore increases probabilities that you get a sideways corrective structure, not a deep. And with deep, we mean deep corrective structure, right? So yeah. So in other words, you would expect still the high to be taken, but if you do continue to correct, you expect a sideways corrective structure, and then afterwards you still take out the high. Same thing here, by the way, as GRT. 3-wave structure to the downside. You didn't yet touch the 886, so bearish scenario is a multi 1-2. Diagonal is expanding, which is rare, and an impulse is invalidated. So if you do move up a little bit more here, it basically supports what I just said. If you hit 13.5, probabilities increase to take this high. Okay. Ooh. What's your question about Ecamm Live? Just your experience. What's your experience with Ecamm Live? Do you enjoy it? Is it easy to set up? Is it easy to stream to, let's say, YouTube, or maybe in your case other platforms? In my case, it would be YouTube, because that would then be my streaming software. In other words, is it worth it over Streamlabs OBS or OBS Studio on the Mac, which is of course free? But I think Ecamm Live, I wanna try Ecamm Live. I don't mind about paying for Ecamm Live, but I'm comparing the softwares. So yeah. Okay, what's this? These are like those meme coins. Giga chat, are you serious? So what's Bitcoin up to at the moment? Okay, nothing changed here. Yeah. Apparently, I wonder. So who's launching this, right? Who is the person that is filling its bags with such shit coins, and then very likely at some point like dumps it on people? No, like what's this? You know what I mean? Like what is this? Like why? I mean, probably that's what people said at the beginning of Doge as well, and look at where Doge is today. So I mean, you never know. There's always an audience for whatever, but someone is filling their bags with this stuff, and they have been doing so quite nicely. No, jeez. So we have overlap here. Yes. So we have overlap here. So we can't count it as a wave 1. We can, but strong guideline is not to. 1, flat, 2, 3, 4, and you would be looking for a 5. Of course, you do have the overlap, but then this is a wave 2 B top in a flat, and this is your 4. It's not a rule that wave 2 and 4 can't overlap, but it's a strong guideline. You don't want to see a 2 and 4 overlap. It's not a rule. So, yeah. So that, of course, would mean you're going to be looking for wave 5. And in that case, of course, your wave 5 would then be, you look for a price to move up. 1, 2. Well, it looks like Bitcoin is finding some strength. I can see the ticker. I have the ticker on my on my browser, so I can just see the price. Right. Interesting. But here, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. You'd be looking for 5, which of course is ending an impulse. Most bullish would be a multi 1, 2, but. Yeah, I don't know. Like that's this second wave 1 would be a lot bigger than the first one as well. So it makes more sense to count 1, 2, 3, 4 and looking for a 5. Alternatively, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C. So it looks toppy. You know, like you know, if you're looking for a 5, that's an impulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, and you look for a 5, right? Possibly even a diagonal. So at the moment, this is a 3-wave structure. And the 3-wave structure here, right, that's going to be either a wave B, or you're going to be looking for at least another high in a diagonal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Multi 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, right? Basically, anything is bullish unless you take out this low. That's a problem. But then you're going to be talking about ABC flat, and then you go back up. So in other words, you're basically still looking for price to take out this high at some point. But yeah. Is it possible to show how you trade Bitcoin? Clicking buy and sell, of course. No, I trade Bitcoin with all the tools that I use that you see in my content. Everything. And then it's, of course, everything together. So in Diamond, I have PDFs of how I trade and some information about strats, but I use everything that you see me use in the content at all times. So there's a chart from January that has more data. Wow. Coinbase. I mean, I don't know if I really want to. Yeah, I don't know if I really want to like spend more time I think this is, yeah, good enough. It's at the, quite simply, if you only look locally, this is at the moment a 3-wave structure, not a 5. So you either look for a flat or you look for impulsive continuation, as long as you keep the market structure alive. I've seen a couple Solanas coming by. Oh. Well, this is a 3-wavy structure. No? I mean, on Solana, we don't really have to think too much. I'm just looking there, but Solana didn't take the all-time high. Obviously, you hit the 886 on Solana because you almost took out the all-time high, which therefore increases the probabilities to still take out the all-time high. So due to that 886 touch. So yeah. Now we hit my box here. This box was a wave 5 target. So that's quite nice. You also see the blue box here, which is a wave 4 target of a higher degree. So that's the blue wave 4. And locally, so in other words, looking for a 4 and a 5 is bullish. And here, this yeah, it looks corrective. So there we go again, right? Impulse, multi, 1, 2, or diagonal. Well, we can't count an impulse here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Lots of overlap. This with basically any of the lows here. So then we have to think about a multi 1, 2. But this has to be like a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. You know, you get the point. It's not great, huh? Didn't touch the 886, but basically a multi 1, 2 would be bearish, and somehow a diagonal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Probably for a diagonal, I'd only be looking for 2 and still more waves. So it's too early to call diagonals. But even as a multi 1, 2, if this is your latest 2, and then of course you have a 2 here and a 2 here, preferably every wave 2 becomes a bit shorter in time and price. But this one is of course longer in time and price. So it lowers the probabilities. So in other words, it increases probabilities that this is a corrective structure. Now, mind you, that this also doesn't look very bullish, right? A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in C, right? No. So could definitely continue its correction. But on a weekly time frame, the probabilities are still higher to look for this high to be taken, right? And this is currently what I am tracking here. This is what I have on my chart. Yeah. I also have to, it's past the hour and my agenda is incredibly tight. So I do have to wrap it up, actually. So, of course, there's always many, many different alts, but, you know, I can't generally get to everything, but we're live every day, so we always do different alts all the time. But my agenda is going to kill me if I do not. I always run on a very tight schedule, and I always have now like an hour to stream, and then my next block begins because I basically organize my day in different blocks, and this is the streaming block, and then I go into the next block, and that is block number 4. And if you want to know what it's about long-term strategic planning. That is block number 4, 3:30 till 5 p.m. So very, very structured in my day. So I gotta call it a day. It actually started 10 minutes ago, but you know, I love being live, which is also my weakness. I really enjoy being live, analyzing the chart, you know, but other stuff also needs need attention. So make sure that we're doing alts every day. So if you just if you just got into the live stream, today we did Bitcoin and then XRP, Cardano, Hbar Grt Icp, GigaChat, and Solana. Tomorrow is a new day, and that also means a new live stream, which also means having a look at very likely some of the alts again. So at the moment, I'm planning to do a Bitcoin and alt stream. If Bitcoin tomorrow is going to be incredibly volatile or whatever, because we do have news in the afternoon, we might focus a bit more on Bitcoin specifically, right? But just so you know, like in general, during the streams, we do many alts as well. So if you want to know stuff on the alts, just come in, write your alt in the chat. You know, whenever I'm finishing like a certain analysis on an alt or Bitcoin, write your stuff in the chat. I always just randomly pick alts, and generally I make sure that I have a great variety of alts in the content. So what I will do is always, sometimes I forget, but most of the times I write all the alts in the title after a live stream so that you can always go back, because I analyze the weekly or daily time frame, which is high time frame, which means it doesn't change very quickly. So generally videos of last week are still as relevant as today. There's no videos last week because of the holidays. So yeah, make sure to basically come back to the stream and write your alt here. So yeah, GigaChat. Yeah, like you have those alts like of course you have SHIB, and then you had of course Doge, where it's SHIB, and then I think like there's some crazy stupid like name-wise alts, like why? You know? But hey, if you can earn money with them, it's fine. But please watch out with that type of stuff. You know, it's incredibly high risk as well. You know, you don't want to have a Luna 2.0. So that would be a bit of an issue, no? So yeah, thanks everyone for being here. Georgian, Coops, by the way, what's up? T Clapson, hello and goodbye. Exactly. Thanks, Shoyo. Appreciate it. Gulian, Kathiran, Mihamia. Fartcoin, you know, what the hell? Okay, guys, I gotta go. If you have any questions, write down below the stream in the once the stream is finished in the comment section, or in Discord or Telegram. Links in the description. You know how it works. And then we will see each other again tomorrow. And tomorrow morning will be a video, of course. So we'll see where Bitcoin is by tomorrow morning. Trade safe. You know what we're looking for. Have a very good, profitable trading day.